Good morning. As you can see, we're having tiny snow, finally having some tiny snow. So we are officially in winter, and it is January 3rd, 2024. And a while ago, I let you know about my military past. Not only were my parents military, then got out, and as civilians, they were so enamored with the routine and structure that they experienced in basic training, they saw that as a great way to raise kids. Mind you, they were of a generation that believed it was their responsibility to mold the kids that they had, to turn them into the kind of people that they wanted them to be, the right people. And so they were pretty authoritarian about it. So they thought nothing of talking to us like a drill sergeant talks to their recruits. Well, imagine my surprise as a neurodivergent person who did not know such a thing existed. By the way, both my parents are neurodivergent. I'm absolutely sure of it. And they dealt with a lot of depression and anxiety because of it, trying to fit in. But it wasn't a thing when they were kids. So anyway, being an individual, a quirky individual, let's call it that, I naturally have a cartoon bubble over my head. I see what people describe if they use figurative language. And if I'm walking around, I'm wondering why people don't often see the middle finger raised high and proud in my cartoon bubble, but they don't see it if I mask well enough. But anyway, more to the point. Military parents, military treatment in childhood, Catholic school, another military organization, and then 1 year into civilian college, realizing that I wasn't going to qualify for medical school, and parents being really, really concerned about student loan debt, and not being a huge fan of liberal arts, thinking that was a waste of time, suggested that I consider the service. And I was just bored and depressed enough to do it. So I joined the Army, and I was in for 8 years. So I was already used to the culture, but figured, okay, this is not the place to actually unfold and be me, but I'll stay in long enough to benefit from it. And I did. Anyway, one thing I remember is the Army teaches with fear. And as a grown-ass adult now, I know that fear, teaching with fear, is abusive, and I don't ever want to do that. But I notice also when I encounter other neurospicy people, there are a lot of neurospicy people that know exactly what they're supposed to do, but they can't get started. And that's why we procrastinate. And we get down to the deadline, down to the wire, and as soon as we have enough fear, we get started and hyperfocus and pull rabbits out of hats. We have a lot of anxiety when we do this. Anyway, I think it's the adrenaline that gives neurospicy people the extra push, the extra ability to do something. Well, I figured I have a friend that is also neurospicy and is also oppositional defiant based on her experiences, and she automatically says no to anything she's told to do. And it was driving me bug nuts. And finally, the right combination of things happened that scared her into trying it when she had to do something for her physical well-being. And it was easier than she thought. And so we had this discussion about teaching with fear. And if I'm going to take on the role of teaching her, I can draw on my military experiences to give her just enough fear to get her started. It's a lot better to do this with consent, of course, and it's only in the area of physical health and well-being. But I'm going, so maybe my dark side has some uses if I keep it reined in? Interesting. Oh, side note, cartoon bubble. By the time I made it to basic training myself, I almost laughed in formation the first time I heard a drill sergeant say, "Pull your head out of your duffel bag," because I knew what it was cleaned up from. And I think I heard that first when I was 10. Being the firstborn, I was 10. My first sister was 8.5. The only sister at the time was 8.5. The brother after her was 6.5. And the brother after him was 5. And our dad could be pretty loud and blustery and intimidating, and we were scared AF. But in the cartoon bubble over my head, I actually saw someone with very pneumatic rubber twistability with their head up where it didn't need to be. And then I actually heard when they popped it out. So I show up in basic training and the drill sergeant says, "Pull your head out of your duffel bag." And I almost laughed in formation. That would have been really weird. I would have had to drop and give an extra 20 then. But anyway, the point of this is sometimes teaching with fear a little bit is enough to get a neurospicy person to do what they need to do. And it's always tempered with consent. So is it a bad thing? I don't know. I do know that I do not want to become the abusive person that uses fear on a regular basis to teach people. I don't think I'm in danger since I had the talk. Have a good day.